What if I'm one of these that isn't like tragic? The fail of Disney's Chuck E. Cheese ripoff Club Disney. Isn't Chuck E. Cheese like animatronics? It's like Five Nights at Frederick's. That. Oh, I've heard this one. The Jaws ride, like the Jaws ride nearly killed someone because they had this like animatronic shark. You know, we'll watch this one just so I can explain close play. I don't want to do it that way. I want to watch it like normal people do. We'll watch this one because it is an interesting video.
This put them in direct competition with other LA-based amusement park, Disneyland. As Universal Studios Hollywood continued to add additions to their park, including a Jaws encounter during the
Seriously, this ride's fucking... This would scare the shit out of me. I fucking hate the ocean.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing.
Okay. Not Sesame Street. Play School has taught me about shapes, and I'm quite the expert in it. As you can see, this is the square door. This is the arch door. They're very different. They're not the exact same. This is incorrect. This is factually incorrect. This is a square. This is an arch. Square. Arch. Studios. Oh fuck! They got studios in the same word. Never mind.
So Disney MGM Studios began construction in 1985, obviously angering Universal as Disney had copied many aspects of their plan and already existed.
Disney copies all the time.
However, luckily for
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. All right, that never happened. Never happened. I never said. I never shit talked Disney. Didn't do that. Never happened.
The first version of the ride cost $30 million to make.
It's a fucking shit ton of money.
Which, factoring in inflation, yeah, it was expensive.
How do I math this? Cents, ones, tens, hundreds, thousands, 30 million, and then 50. Oh, that is more money. Than my grandkids, my great grandkids, my great grandkids' great grandkids, and my great 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 grandkids' uncle, roommates, cousins, dogs, vet would make in their entire lives combined.
An pontoon boat captained by a employee who would guide the boat on a tour of Amity, the town in Jaws. Then, shockingly, the guests spot a
shark.
Obviously.
Shark.
So that's fine. That part's fine. That part's not weird.
The shark would then stalk you for the rest of the ride, even appearing in the boathouse that you're hiding out in. In the first version of the ride, at one point, the robot shark would actually take a bite out of the boat and attempt to spin it. This would have been amazing, except for it almost never worked correctly. Like the robot made for the movie Jaws, the Jaws ride sharks experienced a variety of problems. First, sometimes the robot shark would not lunge out of the water to grab the boat. Second, if it did, the robot's shark teeth would sometimes damage the boat because for some reason they used real shark teeth.
Yeah.
In the finale of the original ride, the skipper would shoot the shark with a grenade launcher. It would then explode and chunks of shark would fly out of the water. They would fly out of a small air cannon and then would be filtered back in and recirculated. The sharks were guided by computers and could swim at 20 feet per second.
That's pretty cool.
It was an impressive ride.
I would never go on this.
Planned? No. The answer is no.
Young men
I don't know America. Did it work? It worked too well.
Basking in the sun. Crowds taking photographs of a great white shark.
Fuck sharks. They're fucking terrifying.
White shark.
Yeah, I hate water.
Movie set. And this is where Jaws.
It would have been disgusting here if it didn't work, did I? Exactly.
Into screaming terror. But today the sea is calm. It's a good day for a boat ride.
Oh, is it? Actually, that's no fucking fear. I'd be shitting and pissing my pants if I was here.
Disney MGM Studios opened on May 1st, 1989, and a year later, Universal Studios Florida opened on June 7th, 1990.
Ages away.
Opening day was a star-studded event. Celebrities such as Sylvester Stallone, Steven Spielberg, and Bill Cosby were in attendance. The opening was a huge success for people that like to watch everything go wrong. On top of this, they would be faced with a lawsuit, as during one voyage, he fell off the boat and into the water with Jaws. He was on a family trip with his children that were obviously mortified that their father would be eaten. Worse, he fell in one of the 10 feet deep areas where the sharks are held. The other areas of the ride were only 4 feet deep. If you haven't figured it out already, this means that he was incredibly close to the mechanics of the ride. He even recalled that the shark was swimming right toward him.
Welcome.
When the employees managed to get him back on the boat, the other guests clapped, thinking it was all just part of the show. He sued Universal for $1 million.
Oh, as you should. Okay, so basically, he fell off the ride into the deep part of the water where all the the mechanical sharks are, and they'd be like swimming around him. It'd be fucking terrifying because they're mechanical. They bite, they attempt to bite the boat, and the teeth are made of real shark teeth. So if you got bit, you'd be fucking decapitated. It'd be terrifying.
This, along with the fact that the ride shut down almost daily.
Look at this shit. Imagine this shit. Like swimming towards you, biting, and just deep.
Come to the conclusion that it was time to drastically change the ride. The original version of Jaws closed after only 2.5 months of operation. It is safe to say that Universal and MCA were mad. They sued Ride and Show Engineering for not designing the ride properly. Ride and Show claimed that their handiwork was not at fault, and that Universal did not give them enough time. Ride and Show even said that they were looking forward to the case so that they could prove that Universal messed up and not them. They later settled out of court, with Ride and Show commenting, basically, Universal didn't have any experience with a ride like this. If we had built something like this for Disneyland, Disneyland maintenance would have taken it over and made it work.
Yeah.
They hired Totally Fun Company to redesign the ride.
Totally Fun Company sounds like a place that you'd get like haunted robots from.
Peter Alexander. They also hired a variety of contractors to complete the many different aspects of the attraction to ensure that it was done correctly the second time around. The new story incorporated elements from both Jaws and Jaws 2. In the new ride,
did anyone actually watch Jaws 2?
Shark!
Is it actually good?
Would not bite the boat or be blown to pieces, but there would instead be a gas explosion, and the shark would be killed after it bit a high-voltage wire, such as in the end of Jaws 2. This was Peter Alexander's final suggestion before he left the project to go to the other end of the park and produce shows for Nickelodeon Studios. The fire scene would have to be impressive, and the pyrotechnics testing it purposely designed so that the guests
I would fucking hate that. I hate sharks. I hate the ocean.
They definitely accomplished this, as guests regularly complained that they had been burned by the fire, mostly by those that had already had sunburns from a day at the park. The main issue with the original attraction was that the water made it difficult for the robot sharks to go from a complete standstill to lunging out of the water. Universal decided to hire
water resistance,
a company specializing in products that assist in deep-sea exploration, to build the sharks. They were able to accomplish this, although the detail on the sharks does not
make robot sharks good. When the robot uprising happens, the sharks will come.
You can't see them because the ride is always closed. An interesting aspect of the remodeling was the testing phase, because in order to view changes made to the attraction, the technicians would have to
I agree. Fuck sharks, fuck the ocean. Everyone get microwaves, plug them in, throw them into the ocean. Electrify the entire ocean as revenge. Ocean's scary. Sharks are scary.
As they could not go in reverse. This means that they were taking
just the ocean is terrifying.
The ride to witness minor changes.
I hate the ocean.
With all of these contractors on board and $40 million later, Universal was able to complete the second version of the attraction for a soft opening in 1993, using the term technical rehearsals until 1994.
Technical rehearsals, sure. I would hate this one. I know it's so fake, but I still hate it. Jaws dramatically strikes back. Hell yeah, I'd watch that.
And you thought this only happened in the movies. That's what I thought.
So the final version of the attraction went like this. As you waited in line, you were taken through the boathouses of Amity, including TV screens playing WJWS-13. It had a lot of different programming with numerous references to the film and other movies as well. Once you were done waiting in line, you board one of Captain Jake's boats with the
Captain Jake, I love Captain Jake.
Amity. You take off with your tour guide explaining the shark attacks of 1974
sharks are terrible.
that were later turned
Don't
into
trust
a hit movie.
sharks.
They also point out the houses of some of the characters of the Jaws movies, until suddenly they get a call of distress from Amity 3. The skipper tries to see what is going on and finds Amity 3 sinking. Then the guests see
Shark! 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 Shark!
The skipper pulls out the grenade launcher, not realizing that it is actually loaded at first, and fires at the monster, missing. The skipper misses a second time before hiding
What
in
a
a
loser.
boathouse to
Let me pick up his grenade launcher. Oh shit, it's loaded!
wait for Chief Brody. The shark tries to break in, and the skipper struggles to escape, but does just in time. Chief Brody tells the skipper that he'll be there in 10 minutes. The skipper replies with the now famous line, "We'll be shark bait in 10 minutes," which doesn't actually make sense since technically they are already shark bait.
Yeah, that is a good
the shark
point.
comes back and the skipper misses with the grenade launcher once again, this time accidentally igniting a nearby gas dock. The skipper then explains that they are going to unload the guests onto a fishing dock in an
Yes.
attempt to save them. However, the shark appears once again, but this time it accidentally bites down on a high voltage power cable, frying it. The guests smell the roast
See, as you can tell from this scene, my plan to electrify the ocean would work.
dark, and it makes one final lunge for the boat.
There's
But
not
the
enough of
skipper is
those.
able to kill it with the grenade launcher. Everyone cheers as they are returned safely to Amity. All in all, the shark appears 5 times on the starboard side and only twice on the port side, so
That
you were
sucks.
luckier to be placed on the starboard side. So that was Jaws.
Yeah,
the
that would
the
suck.
whole-
Imagine, like, going on the ride to see Jaws, and then you only see it, like, twice the entire
on, because
time.
its history is not over just yet. A few notable
That would
events
suck.
took place with the ride after its second release. First, every year the attraction was drained, and the Department of Environmental Protection was tipped that oil and other toxins from the ride were
Oil.
being irresponsibly disposed of, which
Oil.
essentially just meant that they had to change their fuel type and do a lot of paperwork.
Oil.
In 2004, hurricanes caused gas prices to increase in Florida to the point that it was too expensive to operate the Jaws ride, thus causing it to be open only infrequently and seasonally from 2005 to 2007.
It's terrible,
Also,
odd.
the attraction was refurbished constantly to ensure that the ride operated correctly. So why was it closed? Unlike other defunct land entries, this one is pretty simple. Harry Potter. The franchise was going
That explains everything. Why did things get cancelled, Harry Potter?
to and did
That makes
save
sense.
Universal's attendance numbers, and Jaws was replaced with the Diagon Alley attraction, Harry Potter and the Escape from Gringotts.
I think I've been to
While
that.
the attraction at Universal is gone, there is
I think
still
I've
a
been to
Jaws
that.
operating at Universal Studios Japan, and the short scene during the tram tour is still operating in Hollywood. So that is the history of Jaws the ride. There are a few more interesting anecdotes